Thinking inside the box. First-person mode. I sit in my rocking chair, nursing a glass of whiskey. I have a good view of the street from my porch and of the cardboard box I left by the sidewalk. I check my preparations one last time. Alcohol? Check. Bucket of popcorn? Check, times 2. Box with best pony written on it in a public area? Checkmate, atheists. I settle in to watch the show. The first victim is pale complexion, pulling an empty cart now that her deliveries are done. The milkmare nods to me and I respond in kind. She keeps walking until she spies the box. Pale pauses, glancing at me, and I just shrug. She unhitches herself from the wagon and approaches the box cautiously. She puts a tentative hoof inside, looking around warily. When no objection makes itself known, she climbs inside and trots a small circle before laying down, resting her chin on the corner of the box. I smile at the sight, feeling only a little guilty about what will happen. Well, I actually don't have to wait long. Applejack comes down the road hauling the Sugar Cube Corner order of apples. She spots the box, pale, and the unattended wagon, and she's visibly confused, moving closer. I know the exact moment that farm pony sees the writing on the box. Applejack stiffens, unhitching herself from the cart, and as she approaches, Pale looks up and her ears fold back. Still, she still remains in the box, and I raise my glass to her bravery. Applejack nods to the milkmare.
Good morning, Pale.
Pale gets to her hooves, tail swishing nervously.
Good morning, Applejack. How's the family?
Applejack chews a bit on the stalk of wheat in her mouth.
Good, good. And how's the mister? He's doing well, working on a new cheese flavor.
The two mares stand in silence for some time, eyeing each other, and finally, Applejack tilts her head.
You really think it's you?
Pale juts her chest out, her modest tuft prominently on display.
I certainly fit inside.
The orange mare rolls her eyes.
With room to spare. No need to be stubborn, it's plain as day who belongs in there.
Pale snorts.
Oh, that's rich. Coming from you. Why don't you go overwork yourself until your friends save you from yourself again?
I roll back, shaking my head in admiration. Applejack scowls.
That was only the one time, and I don't have no bearing on it right now.
I grab a handful of popcorn and start munching as another challenger approaches.
Why are you two arguing like school fillies? It's just a
She then sees the writing, and Applejack nods to her.
Morning, Miss Cheerily. Now, why don't you go see if you can talk some sense into Pale here?
The teacher sighs.
Both of you are being ridiculous. What could be more important than guiding and shaping the ponies of tomorrow? Applejack might have a point, being a supporter member of a team of national heroes, but supportin'?
Cheerily eyes her.
Oh, did I miss the part where you became an alicorn princess?
Applejack scrunches hard, the wheat stalk hopelessly mangled by her contorted muzzle. The teacher turns back to Pale.
But, as for you, considering how many nipples you fondle every day, it's more surprising that you aren't a huge dyke.
Pale's face is red with anger.
Me? A dyke? I have a husband, unlike Miss Supporting National Hero and Miss Herdbait School Teacher.
Cheerily scrunches, tail lashing in anger.
I would have a cult friend if some pony didn't clam jam me at every opportunity.
A crowd is beginning to gather around the commotion. I am having the time of my life. Who needs daytime soap operas when I can have Jerry Springer on my front lawn? Applejack turns on Cheerily.
Now I ain't leaving some sleazy school teacher to take advantage of my brother's docile and demure nature.
Rarity shoves her way through the crowd like a fabulous, melodramatic shark that has scented scandal in the water.
Darlings, this is hardly the sort of thing to be airing out in public, let alone in front of a delicate stallion like Anonymous.
Applejack takes a deep breath, then spits out her wheat stalk.
You're right, Rarity. Begging your pardon, Anon.
I wave dismissively. That's fine. Rarity spares a smile from me before turning back to Applejack.
Now, to the matter at hoof. Surely the best pony, as it were, must be exceptional. And while we both are elements of harmony, I'm afraid my other accomplishments far outstrip yours.
Applejack frowns.
What are you talking about, Rarity?
The fashionista tosses her mane.
It's quite simple. You inherit a farm and tend it well. Meanwhile, I built a business from the ground up and have expanded into Canterlot itself. There's simply no comparison.
Applejack grits her teeth.
Now, are you saying that you work harder than me?
Rarity raises her eyebrows.
Perhaps not harder, but certainly more successfully.
Applejack winds up for some sort of response, but a deep voice yells above the murmur of the crowd. Pale complexion! You were supposed to be home an hour ago! The pony's part as Bovine strides up to his wife, and Pale smiles sheepishly.
Hello, my dearest.
Bo snorts. What's all this nonsense? He looks down at the box, sighs, and fixes Pale with a dry look. Really? Pale shrugs helplessly.
You know?
Bo shakes his head. You don't need a box to tell you that. You will always be best pony to me. I join in the collective daw, and Paul steps out of the box and nuzzles her husband.
Sorry for making you wait. Let's go home, my love.
I watch her hitch herself to the wagon and head out. It's a bittersweet feeling, watching the couple trot out of sight. You know, perhaps I should settle down, find a mare, and make a real connection. I ponder such things idly, wondering what that whistling sound is. It's getting louder. Then the sky floods with a rainbow of colors as some pony breaks the heterosexual barrier. Rainbow Dash slams into the box, making the whole thing bounce and skid across my lawn. I stare in shock as she sits up, both she and the box miraculously unharmed.
Mine!
The dam breaks and the air is filled with angry voices. The crowd devolves into an all-out brawl as each pony tries to forcefully prove their ascendancy. Pinky nosily slurps from a glass of mint julep, and I look to find the mare in her own rocking chair beside mine, a trough of popcorn before her, a confetti shotgun across her lap. This is no loon. This is a fully operational giggle station.
Hi, Nani. How's your lawn?
I blink. My lawn? I look out at the brawling mass of ponies. Their hooves are tearing divots in my carefully manicured grass. Wait, my lawn! I march towards the rioting ponies. Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting! Can't you discuss this like unreasonable ponies? Bon Bon tumbles out of the melee and glares at me.
Fuck you! You're not a pony! You don't know what it's like!
She then dives back in, catching Spoiled Rich in a headlock and giving her a mean noogie. I put my hands on my hips and scowl at the problem before me. I think I can probably take on a few ponies at once, but I know Applejack is in there somewhere, and there's no way I can handle all that and her. That's why it's something of a relief when Princess Sparkle teleports above the crowd.
Every pony, calm down! I have detected an artifact of chaos magic, and fuck you! You already have a castle, you don't need the box!
The crowd murmurs in belligerent agreement, and Twilight frowns.
Why would I need a box?
A hard candy hits her horn with uncanny accuracy.
Ow! That really stings!
Classic Bon Bon. Still, it's pretty clear that the pal honcho won't be able to do anything. If the other princesses tried to show up, it's probably just gonna spark some sort of uprising, to be honest. Excuse me. Maybe Zakura has some sort of calming potion? Every pony, just take turns sitting in the box! If you want to, that is. I am jolted out of my big think, and I stare at Fluttershy. Wait, when did she get here? The ponies look around sheepishly, muttering that it's a pretty good idea. Fluttershy trots over to me as the crowd forms an orderly line.
Don't think I didn't recognize your handwriting on that box, mister.
I lean back. Okay. She frowns.
Is watching ponies fighting really that fun?
I know on an instinctual level the answer I'm supposed to say is... no? Close enough. The yellow Pegasus just sighs.
I still don't understand why you and Discord don't get along. You really are a lot alike.
I grimace. Well, it's simple. He's a filthy casual, lol random gray stew with a huge ego. And he's dumb. And smells bad. Fluttershy shakes her head in wonder.
Word for word.
Then she hits me with a glare.
You are gonna take responsibility for that box.
I tilt my head. I'm gonna marry it? The glare gets 20% more done with my whimsy.
You're going to take care of that box, replace it when it gets damaged, and help ponies feel better.
I blink. That sounds kinda reasonable. I do feel a little guilty about how strongly the ponies responded to my prank. Alright. I'll go do that. Thanks for saving my lawn. Fluttershy blinks, clearly expecting some more resistance.
You're welcome.
Silly Buttermellow. I know when to fold 'em. And when the local, kind, gentle mare gets angry, that's a good indication that I should not be playing out this hand. I smile, wave, then walk towards the box. Applejack looks up at my approach.
Morning, Anon.
I sit down onto the grass. Morning, Applejack. Sorry about indirectly provoking you into a fight. She scratches her cheek.
Well, I reckon writing on a box ain't a crime, but I'll accept your apology anyhow.
I smile. Cool. Yep. And the two of us sit in silence for a bit. The box seems fine for all that it was in the middle of a brawl. I'm really not sure what else I should be doing here. Applejack clears her throat.
If you're set on making amends, would you mind saying that I'm a good girl?
I blink, and she blushes. That's adorable. You're a good girl, Applejack. She gets a wiggly smile.
Thanks, Anon.
I reach under her hat and pet her head. You work so hard, and your apples are delicious. I'm proud of you. Her face turns bright red, and I know if I wasn't petting her, she'd be hiding her face in embarrassment at all that praise. You know, this is pretty fun. I spend the rest of Applejack's turn in the box petting and praising her, and she climbs out on shaky hooves, unable to meet my eyes. Rosaluk hops in the box and looks at me eagerly. I chuckle, turning towards my next victim. The next few days are pretty hectic. Most of the town drops by at some point, not to mention a handful of visitors. After a tip from one of the wealthier ponies, I commission Applebloom to make a booth for the box. Basically, a raised platform with 3 walls and an overhanging roof. I modeled it after a bus stop, and it does a similarly good job of keeping the rain out. As the days go on, something odd starts happening. First, a stallion brings a pair of cushions, one for the box and one for me to sit on. Then, Bon Bon or her customers drop by and leave a few candies every once in a while. One morning, I even find some candles arranged around the box and some matches nearby. I'm a little leery of actually lighting them, considering it's a wooden booth and a cardboard box, but if it makes my visitors happy, I'll let them. Speaking of, 3 stallions are approaching, Time Turner and Mr. Cake fussing over a visibly distraught Caramel. They nudge him into the box, and Caramel's sobs turn into whimpers as he curls up on the cushion. I absently stroke his neck, looking at Time Turner inquisitively, and he sighs. His mare friend left him for a stallion in Manhattan. I grimace, looking down at the sad pony. That's rough, buddy. Caramel just sniffles. The other stallions sit down on the sidewalk, watching over their friend sympathetically. I look around and find a hard candy. Here, have this. I think it's peaches and cream flavored? Caramel looks at me in despair. Her name was Peach Fuzz. Back to sobbing. Oh, crap. Sorry. I've never really been great at consoling people, and apparently I'm worse at consoling ponies. What did Uncle Nemo always say? There's, more than one way to skin a cat. Caramel blinks. What? I frown, trying to remember the platitude. Wait, I think it goes, if wishes were fishes, not a drop to drink. Caramel furrows his brow. I'm pretty sure that's 2 sayings put together. I growl in frustration. It's something like that. It's on the tip of my tongue. Caramel waits patiently while my brain percolates. There's always a bigger fish. Caramel giggles.
I have no idea what you're trying to say, but thank you.
I pat him on the withers. At this point, I'm not sure either. I'm glad I could cheer you up a bit. Caramel smiles, wiping the tears from his face.
Actually, could I have that candy, after all?
I raise my eyebrows. Sure. I hand it to him. He unwraps it and pops it into his mouth, and Caramel bites down with a crunch. He seems obscurely pleased with it, for some reason. Well, whatever floats his boat, and once he swallows, Caramel resolutely gets to his hooves.
Thanks, guys. I'm feeling a lot better now.
Time Turner smiles. What are friends for? Mr. Cake nods.
It's the least that we could do. Why don't we drop by the corner and I'll get you a double chocolate cupcake?
Caramel licks his lips.
Well, it's hard to say no to that. Let's go, and you too, Anon.
I shake my head regretfully. Thanks, but I really should keep an eye on things over here, just in case if some pony comes by. Caramel looks concerned.
Are you sure?
I scratch my chin. I mean, I probably could head out, but I would hate for some pony to show up and have no one to talk to. Mr. K gives me a half smile and shake of his head.
That just leaves you alone with no one to talk to. And that isn't much better.
I shrug. I'm used to it. And some pony always comes by sooner or later. The baker huffs.
Suit yourself. I'll have Pinky drop by later with a cupcake, alright?
I chuckle. Well, it does sound nice. Thanks. The trio of stallions make their final rounds of goodbyes, and soon enough it's just me and the faint murmur of ponies in the distance. I take a moment to breathe in the quiet, then take up my knitting project. Getting the arm just right has been giving me trouble, so who knows when it'll be done. But when it is, some lucky foal is going to grow up with a Trogdor as one of their first stuffed animals, and that makes it worth all the effort. I look at the robes, then at Fluttershy. She smiles nervously while Discord pretzels and pouts behind her, and I scratch my cheek. Thanks? Fluttershy looks away.
I just thought that, you know, since it's a shrine and all, you don't have to if you don't want to, wear it, or keep doing this because I said so back then. Sorry.
I pick up the clothes. I don't mind trying it on. It looks neat. And don't worry, I've been enjoying box duty. It's pretty fun. She sags in relief.
Oh, good. I didn't want you to feel forced to do all of this because I yelled at you. And, can I see how you look in the Nay Pony's shrine? Priest robes? If you don't mind.
I shrug. It looks like it would easily fit over the clothes that I'm wearing right now, after all. Sure. I put on the baggy pants, then the poncho sort of thing with the wide sleeves. It takes a few tugs to get it to look right, but I think I got it. I turn towards Fluttershy and spread my arms. So, what do you think? Her eyes are wide, pupils dilated.
A real Kanushi!
I raise an eyebrow at Discord, and he huffs. She wouldn't stop pestering me until I made it for her. Be grateful I didn't curse it or something. I nod. Thanks for that. Weep stuff, am I right? Flutterbutter is still in her own world. I'm pretty sure that she's still breathing, and Discord rolls his eyes, then picks them up off the ground and pops them back in. You have no idea. At least it's not a beach episode. I chuckle. There is that, yeah. Fluttershy still hasn't moved. I should probably fix that. I strike a pose, pointing at her. In the name of the moon, I will punish you. That's how it went, right? Flutterbutter faints with a goofy smile on her face, nose faintly bleeding. Huh. Discord scowls. Yeah, we're done here. The two disappear in a puff of smoke. Well, that happened. I sit down on my usual cushion. I could take off the ropes, but that's way too much work. About half an hour later, Lyra strolls by, and she stops when she sees me.
Hey, Anon.
Her eyes go wide, face flushed.
Kanushim-ho!
Maybe I should take off the robes. Frickin' weebs. I wake up, unusually cold for a July morning. When I opened the window last night, it was just to let a cool breeze in, not so that I could see my breath in the morning sunlight. I rolled out of bed and closed the window. Wonder what's up with the weather team. Some kind of event or something? I shrug, putting on some slippers and a bathrobe, and set about my morning. I pull 6 blankets from the closet, put on several layers of clothing and my coat, and pour some vegetable soup in a thermos. It's a bit unwieldy carrying it all to the shrine, but it's worth it when I'm all bundled up and warm on my cushion. I pass the morning hours in meditation, absently nodding at the occasional pony walking by. Then it starts hailing. Above the sound of hailstones hammering on the roof, I hear mad laughter.
That's right! Flee before me! Soon you shall all be as chilly and unhuggable as I! Cold snap!
I peer out into the storm to find a white Pegasus mare flapping in place above the deserted streets. I frown. Of all the times for the elements to be on a diplomatic mission... oh well, man. Okay, I might as well see what I can do. Hi! Do you want to talk? Cold Snap must have heard me, and she banks and lands in front of my shrine.
A bull, huh? Feel free to use all of your masculine wiles. Nothing can stop my wrath.
I shrug and pat the cushion in the box. Have a seat. Cold Snap looks at the box, then at me.
I can sit there?
I smile. Well, of course. She blinks, then slowly steps inside, ruffling her wings. I just wait for her to settle down before grabbing the extra blankets and wrapping them around her, and Cold Snap tilts her head.
What are you doing?
I finish tucking her in and giving the blankets a pat. No reason to be colder than you have to be. She scoffs.
Well, I'm always cold. Some blankets aren't gonna change that.
I pat her on the neck, and she's rather cold to the touch. I have just the thing. Hold on, give me a second. I grab the thermos and unscrew the cap. Here, drink this. It's vegetable soup. Made it this morning. Cold Snap scowls.
Well, that won't fix me either. I've always been cold no matter what.
I put the cap back on the thermos. Oh, sounds rough. Something to do with Pegasus magic, I assume? She nods.
Well, ever since I was a filly, no pony wanted to hug me, and all the other fillies and colts would just run away from me. And now they're all gonna pay.
The sound of hail on the shrine roof intensifies, and I frown. Not even family? Cold Snap looks away.
Dad was always working, so I didn't get to see him that much.
I wait for her to continue, but she doesn't say anything else. The realization hits me like a wave. She had a single-parent father. It's pretty rare in Equestria. Most foals are born into herds. This poor mare. I scoot over and pull her into a hug, and she squawks in surprise, but the blankets around her keep her from flailing that much. I pat her reassuringly. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. Cold Snap slowly relaxes into my embrace, resting her head on my shoulder.
Well, aren't you afraid that I'm gonna freeze you solid?
I shake my head minutely. No. You're not a bad pony.
You don't know that.
I stroke her neck. Sure I do. You're sitting in the box, and the box never lies. Cold Snap starts breathing heavily. The sound of hail softens into the background.
It's just a box. It doesn't know.
I nuzzle her neck. Just because it doesn't know, that doesn't mean it's wrong. You may have made mistakes, and it can be hard to let go of your anger, but I believe that at your heart, you're a good pony. Maybe even the best pony. She sniffles.
Really?
I smile, not that she can see it. Really. There are things only you can do. Ponies that only you can reach. And smiles only you can make. You are the best pony at being you. And that's a wonderful thing. Cold Snap snakes a forehoof out of her blankets and wipes her nose.
You sound like a full show.
I shrug. Well, wisdom is wisdom wherever it comes from. So, you feeling any better? She sighs.
Yeah, I miss this. Could we do this again sometime?
I ruffle her mane. Of course. Anytime you want to hug or talk, I'll always be here. The mare takes a deep breath, then pulls out of my embrace.
Thank you. For everything.
I nod pleasantly. I'm glad I could help. And hey, that's what I'm here for. Cold Snap gives me a crooked smile.
Reaching ponies only you can reach?
I grin. Yeah, exactly. She rubs her face.
I think I'm gonna have to sit in this box a while longer before I can believe all of that.
That's not a bad idea. Take as long as you'd like. Cold Snap nods and settles down to bask in the sun. I look at her fondly for a moment, then turn my gaze outwards. I see the hailstones have completely melted away, summer having returned to Ponyville. It really doesn't take long to pick up the groceries that aren't covered by the box shrine offerings. Even so, I end up hearing quite a few ponies wishing me a happy birthday. It still kinda surprises me how many ponies I've gotten to know over the handful of months I've been the box shrine attendant. Of course, when the job is to talk to any pony who drops by, it's not hard to rack up friendly acquaintances pretty quick. The thing that surprises me the most, however, is just how much I like this job I stumbled into. The ponies are cute, and it's a good feeling when I help them smile. I shake my head in wonder and place the last of the groceries into the pantry. I drink a glass of water and set it by the sink, and as I head outside, I pause. That's one huge crowd at the shrine. I stroll over and spot Pinkie Pie out in front with a huge present, and she grins.
Happy birthday!
The crowd echoes her and cheers. And I can't help but smile. Thank you! Thank you, everyone! Thank you! So we're having a party here, then? Pinkie beams.
Yepers, but before that, we need you to open up this very special present.
I approach the box, and it's about knee height and a yard long and wide. I wonder if it's a big cushion or something. I tear into the top wrapping paper easily because there's nothing under it. The box is just empty. Wait, what? Pinkie grins, her tail wagging in anticipation.
Keep going!
I remove more of the paper and notice some writing on the inside of the box walls. I turn it around to read it.
I'm glad that I can confide in you. You have a real talent for calming ponies' troubled hearts.
Mayor Mare. There are many more such messages written inside, and I smiled at the crowd. Oh my gosh. This is really sweet. This is really, really sweet. Thank you. Everyone, thank you. Ponka is vibrating in impatience.
Keep going!
I raise my eyebrows. Oh, alright. I take off the last of the wrapping paper. The outside wall facing me is blank, but maybe. I rotate the box until I see it. Best human. I suspected from the moment I first opened the present, but it still makes me feel warm inside of my chest. I look at Pinkie. Do you mind if I try it out? She is hyperventilating at this point.
Just do it!
I laugh and turn towards the shrine. I grab my cushion in one hand and put the box in its place, then replace the cushion. I climb in, doing my best to ignore the expectant gazes of the crowd. As I settle down, I idly think that the walls would have to be higher if I wanted to really have that cat experience. I take in the view, the walls covered in thank you notes, the crowd of ponies beaming at me, the trees with their fall foliage, a few high cirrus clouds trailing across the blue sky. You know, despite all my flaws and mistakes, despite being from another world and culture, sitting in this box, I know I belong and make a difference here. I blink rapidly and wipe the tears away from my eyes. I am the best human, aren't I? The crowd cheers and a little foal waves a stuffed animal dragon.
Thatched roof cottages!
I have never been more proud of myself in my entire life.